Welcome to the Motherhood Mentor podcast. I'm Becca, a somatic healing practitioner and a holistic life coach for moms, and this podcast is for you. You can expect honest conversations and incredible guests that speak to health, healing, and growth in every area of our lives. This isn't just strategy for what we do, it's support for who we are. I believe we can be wildly ambitious while still holding all of our soft and hard humanity as holy. I love combining deep inner healing with strategic systems and no-nonsense talk about what this season is really like. So grab whatever weird health beverage you're currently into and let's get into it. Welcome to today's episode of the Motherhood Mentor podcast. I have a guest that I am so excited to finally have on the podcast, Kristine Monroe. And I first met Kristine because I attended your gala. I think 2 or 3 years ago at least.
Well, 3 years now because we are already heading into December. So
You're right. It's been 3 years.
Crazy.
And it was kind of one of these, I saw it, I knew no one who was going, none of my friends could go. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go alone. And I think it was one of the first big events that I went alone to. And the women I met there were so incredible. And just going to an event alone where it's just me and it's just kind of like, okay, who am I where nobody knows me?
Oh, I love that.
And it was so good. But will you introduce yourself and who you are?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's been over the last 3 years, such a joy and a pleasure to know you. So I am so excited to be on this podcast. So thank you for inviting me. But I am Kristine Monroe. I am the founder of the Illume Collective here in Denver, Colorado. I moved here 7 years ago from Canada, not knowing anyone. And I was also, that's why I love your perspective of like, where can I go where I don't know anyone? And I was really excited to move to a city where I could start fresh. I didn't know anyone, because I really wanted to start from scratch again, because I was in a 20-year career that I knew it wasn't for me, but I didn't know what. So it was like, I need to be around people that I don't know and try something new. Whereas other people around me, especially my friends and family back in Canada, who were like, well, you don't know anyone there. Like, why would you move there? Or aren't you scared? And, it's the common fear that most people have. And they're just, projecting their fears and worries because nobody likes the unknown. But for me, it was really, really exciting. But until I got here and I really started from scratch, really going on this self-discovery journey, because if I didn't have my 20-year career and now I'm not around friends and family or what's familiar to me, then I was excited at first, but then it soon became, well, who the fuck am I? Who am I? What am I doing? And then I went through this like identity crisis. And so it's great because it pushed me into doing the deep work to really find myself again. And so when I did, I really was on this quest to find, what am I here for? What's my purpose? What do I want to do in this world? And as hard as it was, because I'm sure you and your listeners know about the inner work, like as hard as it was so beautiful on the other side. And the Illume Collective was created out of that. I love doing, like, working what I love to do. It's what I always wanted, like to have a job where it didn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And so that has been basically what I love to bring people through in terms of finding themselves and finding their way home, but also connecting people and being in community, because that's really what I needed when I first moved here.
Yeah. I'm curious, looking back then and then looking to now, how has community and connection changed for you? Like, has your idea, not just like as the leader, but like what you look for in connection and community, has that changed? Like how is that changing for you?
That's such a good question, because obviously there's a lot of things that have changed in the last, so Illume is now in January, going to be 4 years old, which is crazy to me. Like, time goes by so fast when you're having fun. And at the time when I built it is we were coming out of the pandemic. And so it came out of a need of, yes, I needed friends that were like-minded and were entrepreneurs and were doing the things I was doing. But it also is because we really were craving in-person connection because we were isolated for so long. And entrepreneurship in itself is isolating. It can be isolating, but then you add the pandemic to that and it was like extra. And so community back then was, yes, we need to be around people, like-minded people to bring us to where we want to go, but we also need to just force ourselves to come out of like isolation, and really that in-person connection of just being with each other. Forget about like entrepreneurship or, you know, whatever you have in common. It's like we just need to be in person with people. And so that's what connection and community was for me at that time. I mean, that still is the foundation of community for me, is being around expanders, being around people. However, it's changed for me in terms of being intentional on why and what you do in these spaces as well. And so for people to just say like, I'm going to come to a networking event and I'm going to come and promote my business, or that's usually when you think of networking, like I want to like expose my business and I want more people to know about me, so I'm going to come pass my business card around and basically sell myself, like this is what I do. Whereas I always, and I see this more and more, where it's, can we come into a space where, yes, and that is a great goal to have. Like, of course, we want more eyes on our business. Of course, we want to sell ourselves because we have something of value. But when you can come into a space where the intention is, how can I help somebody? How can I serve somebody with my gifts and support somebody and connect with someone on a deeper level? That in turn, the result is what you're going to get, instead of, I'm going to just pass my business card around and hopefully somebody remembers me and needs a photographer and will call me. But 9 out of 10 times, that's not really typically how it works. It works. We tend to recommend each other or hire somebody because of, you feel connected to that person.
Yeah.
Or somebody who you know feels connected to that person and recommended that person, right? And so for me, community is always about, what's your intention? What do you want to get out of it? And yeah, and it's just really like, how can we serve other people? How can we be of service to other people?
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, you've done such an incredible job with that, with Illume. And I mean, it's why I drove so far because it's your stereotypical networking events. I can do that, but like, it does not light me up. It doesn't inspire me. That is just, I could die at having extroverted, high level being like, hi, what do you do? Hi, what do you do? But like neither of us are there getting to know each other and like actually connecting with the human being who's building the business, or like what lights them up about it, what drives them, where are they stuck? Those are the kind of conversations that I think so many entrepreneurs and even just women are dying to have, of like being seen and witnessed and having a space where you can not only come and express yourself, but even like develop that authenticity and
Mm-hmm.
get to know other women. I'm curious, we had talked about a post that you had made the other day that I absolutely loved about authenticity. What does that mean to you and what does it not mean? Because there's like so many different levels to this, and people use the word authenticity all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's such a powerful thing when we're talking about community, because we want a community where people are authentically themselves and where we feel
Yes.
authentic. But what does that
Yes.
look like and mean to you?
Oh, I love this question so much because, yes, it's a word that's been thrown out. It's like almost like you just throw it out there, like it's just so easy to be
Like, just
authentic.
be authentic.
Yeah, like, oh, like, okay, like so easy. No, it's actually the hardest thing that you ever have to do. And so, what authenticity means to me is, really, we have to learn what is even authentic to us, because we have grown up in a world where we had to be the opposite of authentic. We had to be our strategic self in order to be accepted and loved by other people. It is a basic human need to be accepted and loved by, and want that from other people. Like, if you think about when you're a baby, basically a baby to survive, yes, they need food, but they need touch. Like, if you just left a baby and fed it but didn't touch it and didn't, like, you know, give it love or anything like that, it would not survive. It just we need that connection with other people. And so it is a human nature that we will morph ourselves or do things unconsciously that we don't even know we're doing to try to fit in with other people, to try to be accepted by other people. And so sometimes then along the way, we get lost in terms of who is this that's behaving this way to be accepted versus who's the real me? Because oftentimes, whether we know it or not, it's we think like if we actually do the things we want to do that feel right to us in our hearts, we're like, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm going to be judged. I don't want to do that because I won't be accepted. When really that's your true self. And if you're not accepted for your true self, then you're not really truly accepted. It's all surface level, it's all strategic. Yeah. And so that's why I say when you start to learn who really you truly are, and you want to come out and fully express yourself in that, knowing that you're going to be judged, knowing that you may not be accepted in certain circles, that's where I say authenticity is the hardest job, because now you are expressing your true authentic self with the risk that somebody's going to judge me, somebody's not going to like me, which is going to happen, but you do it anyway. And that's authenticity. When you can stand in your truth and stand in knowing who you are, knowing that you're not going to be accepted by other people. And so part of life is understanding the two selves, which is the strategic self. What did you do that wasn't you to fit in? And then who is your true self? And then how can you navigate through life to step into your authentic self despite all the things that are going to come in your way of that? And that's why you are in my door number 3 mastermind, which is door number 3. And the concept of door number 3 is we always have a choice. Like, am I going to be my authentic self, but then, oh, maybe I won't because I'm going to upset this person, or I'm going to leave this person behind, or this person is going to judge me. So I'm just going to people please or do the things so that I can still fit in with this person. I can still be liked. And then we deny our authenticity. Right? And so to actually choose your authentic self means that the door number 3 is we choose ourselves, and we are going to hurt people along the way. We're going to accept that we're going to hurt people along the way. We're going to offend people. We're going to be judged, but we do it anyway. So it's like the hardest door to go through.
Do you feel like this was a huge part of some of that inner work that you did? Like, did authenticity and choosing that true self, did that come easy to you, or do you feel like you had to like work at that?
Oh my gosh. So no, I always have to work at it. Like, yeah, even to this day, it's like I believe that anybody who says that they're fully authentic and fully embodied and they don't, and then it's easy for the rest of their lives, I like call bullshit. It's just not possible. Yeah. Like, we are an onion that like is peeled and not that there's anything to fix about us, but it's just like we're constantly evolving. And we have lots of lives that we lived and lots of conditioning that like once we healed one part of us, then it's like, oh, then we learned something else that like we're here to learn lessons and we're here to evolve and grow. So how are you going to continue to evolve and grow if you're already like complete?
Yeah. You mentioned, right? Yeah. You mentioned like the risk, and especially like other people's feelings and like hurting their feelings or hurting their worldview or losing that. Like, what are your thoughts on like other people's feelings and pretending not to care? Because I feel like I constantly see the like, you shouldn't care what other people think, or when you heal from people pleasing, you stop caring what other people think. And it's, yeah, I deeply care about what other people think.
Yes.
I just have to like also attune to what I think. And it's not my job to behave based off of their worldview.
Right.
It's my worldview, but I still care what they think and feel.
Of course. Yes. And that's why, yes. And that was the post that you're referring to. The post was giving 0 fucks is bullshit. Like, because we are humans. And if you don't care about somebody else's feelings or the natural need that we have to be accepted and liked, of course we care. Of course we care. Like, do you not have feelings or emotions? Like, we care. But are we going to let it stop us? Are we going to let it hinder us from doing the things even though it might hurt them? Even though, and so, yes, I've lost friends along the way. I've had to do things where people are going to be upset, or they don't agree or they think I'm weird. Like I've had to do that. And of course I care what they
Yeah.
think, but I care more about myself. So am I going to deny myself for them? Or am I going to still hold space and I'm sorry you feel that way? And they're on their own journey. And so for the friends that I've lost, they're on their journey where we weren't a fit anymore. We
Mhm.
weren't a match anymore. If they didn't want to, I guess, accept or judge me for my truth. And I have to, and it was so hurtful, like very, very hurtful. And I'm still hurt till this day.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I know, even though I'm hurt, you can, okay, this is like the duality of like emotions and feelings. I can be hurt that I lost those friends and still be happy that they are not meant to be in my life anymore. And they are not part of my evolution of where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I'm not part of theirs.
Yeah.
And so you can feel both sides of the coin for that. And so I think that the more we deny ourselves, the more we push our own feelings under the rug for somebody else, is when we start to feel, is when depression kicks in, or is when like we start to like feel like something's not right, especially in our bodies, when people start to feel sick, or that's what happens when we are not living our soul's purpose, living our truth, living our authenticity, our self-expression of who we are, because that's who we came here to be. But it's so hard to do.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think of Brene Brown's words because I feel like she has the best words for like belonging. But I think of it as like there used to be these tables that I would sit at, and I was very highly aware, not just cognitively, but like my body knew these parts of me aren't welcome
Mhm.
at this table. These questions, these perspectives, these parts of me, they aren't welcome here. Not just by what was obviously talked about and shamed and like judged at the table pretty openly, but by what was rewarded.
Mhm.
And it was so interesting. There was one day where there was this discussion happening, and I remember sitting there going, I don't even want to talk about this because I can't bring this. And this was the topic was like about sexuality and like how we teach our kids. And all of a sudden I was sitting there and I was like, oh, this is a hill I'm willing to die on. This is
Mhm.
actually a topic that I'm willing to walk away from tables about because the way that you are talking about it, I would never say that to my daughter, and I fundamentally
Mhm.
disagree, but I can't even bring that to this table. I can't
Mhm.
even bring that like objection or that disagreement. But there's other
Mhm.
tables, and this is my heart when I'm building community. I have a room of women who like fundamentally disagree with each other on several pretty big things. But what is beautiful about this community of women, they can sit there and see you with all of your parts and not have to agree, not have
Yes.
to see it the same. They can love you and accept you. And I think that's true belonging is being with people who I might not like it or I might disagree. There might be some tension and conflict there, but
Mhm.
I can literally love that for you
Yes.
and
Yes.
truly genuinely like love you, not just tolerate you. And
Yes.
I think more and more we're creating these polarity groups where people don't have a fundamental, what is it? Like a fundamental deep belonging where it's not just that we think alike, it's that we're willing to see each other in the way that we're coming, like the worldview that we're coming with and being open and curious about it.
Yes.
Not just always it being wrong. I'm curious if that's something that's showing up for you in community, because I do feel like it is becoming harder for a lot of people to feel like all parts of them aren't pissing other people off.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. I was actually at a dinner with some girlfriends where we were talking about this polarity with other people's opinions, especially in politics, which I don't really want to go into politics because we all know what I'm talking about when we talk about polarity.
Yeah.
And, but I think what I love about the circles that I'm in or choose to surround myself in community is that we all have different opinions, but like no matter what side of the coin or you are on or what opinions you have, but what I do love is what you exactly shared, is that we can say, I love to hear the other side because I'm open to what's your perspective and how do you look at it? And then I get to discern, do I believe or not believe? But can I see it from your perspective? Can I understand where you're coming from? Can I maybe choose to see it a different way and open my eyes to something new? And just sharing those different ideas. And that's where we have forgotten in community to be open and be accepting of everyone's viewpoint instead of having your own, I guess, opinions that if you think that way and you don't think what I think, like we can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
We can't like be open. And that is it really realistic that everybody in this entire world has the same truth and the same opinion? That would be very boring. And how do we learn anything if we all just thought and behaved the same way?
Yeah,
Right?
there's an empathy and a curiosity. And I think too a relational maturity of being able to listen and understand and not always make it about you either. And being
Mhm.
able to see the health and polarities. Like so many women, I think balance is finally trending out. Don't you feel like in the coaching world, especially, like the word balance has been on every single form that anyone's ever filled out for me? Like everyone wants
Oh, really?
balanced.
Oh.
And when I see that word, I'm like, but I think people don't understand the way that we find balance, internal or external, is by
Mhm.
like understanding and learning the health of your polarities. There's probably a health and a medicine in both polarities, maybe not in the extremes, right? But like for the most part, like you're going to find quote unquote balance by your polarities. And sometimes your life is tilted in such a way that you're going to need to lean into one polarity to have it be healthier. So
Mhm.
balance isn't this just like, oh, you're always this one way. There's a changing relationship to yourself in life. And I think that's what I'm
Yes.
hearing too as a theme, not only in authenticity for you, but in community of being willing to learn and change and shift and meet life where it is and where you are.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. And are we willing to morph and change and go with that flow,
Yeah.
instead of being rigid in our way of thinking, or it has to be this way? Or I truly believe like everyone has their truth, and no, not one truth is the right truth. Like we're all pieces to a bigger puzzle, and we're meant to have different truths.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so I never like, you can stand firm and know what your truth is, but I know that I'm not going to convince somebody else that my truth is your truth and should be. It's what's yours, and where can we learn from each other?
Yeah, it's all such different. It's being able to witness those different perspectives and viewpoints on life, which I think is I think it's a tenet of healthy community.
Mhm.
I'm curious, as your it sounds like your authenticity. I mean, I even see it in you, Kristine. Like I can see it and feel it of like, ooh, Kristine is even more Kristine. Like you're more potent. And I love like
Oh,
you're more of you, which I
oh,
love.
thank
I'm
you.
curious, like, has that impacted the way that you lead and the way that you build community? Like, how is that changing things for you right now?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I have to think about this one
Yeah.
because it it's a little bit not shocking. I think I just love hearing that because I always want to like evolve and step more into my authenticity as I evolve and grow, and to know that you were just in a container that we were in together. What was it even now? Like just the beginning of this year.
Beginning of this year. It feels like
Yeah,
forever ago, but yeah, just
I
the
know.
beginning of
And to
this
say
year.
like you've noticed the change, like yes, some things have shifted in me. I can even feel
Mhm.
since the beginning of this year. And I just think that the more we are self-expressed, because I do feel like I was self-expressed before, but I know that each time more of my self-expression can come out, the more potent and the more like I'm meant to bring out more, and I guess the people that I'm meant to be around, I guess, get to be in that energy. Like we just get to like learn from each other in my next evolution of what I am bringing to the world. And so that really excites me. I do feel like it still takes, like, let's be real. I am shifted. I am more self-expressed. I do feel like I'm more authentic than I was like 6 months ago. And I will continue to be until I die. But on Saturday, I had a really shitty day.
Mm.
A shitty day where my husband and I got into an argument, and it's like I started self-doubt, like what I'm doing in work and all the things. And I knew I was like going down a downward world spiral. Like I was like, I just want to be in bed. I don't want to do any housework. I just feel sorry for myself. And before, those days used to really take me out to the point where I'd be like, why am I feeling this way? I thought I was ahead. I thought I was doing great. I thought I was more authentic. And so why am I now feeling shitty and low again? But again, this is the duality where I was feeling shitty and low. And I was like, this sucks. I hate feeling like this. But then there was like, I'm going to just allow myself to feel this today. I'm going to lay in bed and not do anything and be okay with that. And it sucked. Like it really, really sucked. And it took me a whole day and part of the next morning. So it's not like I woke up and I was like, I'm amazing because I rested. It still bled into the next day. But I just took more time for myself to feel it and really be in that shittiness.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then came out of it. I did just a lot of sitting with and just being with myself, connecting to my higher self. I do it a lot through meditation and being outside in nature. So I was doing toggling between the two and laying in bed. So all those things all in one. But once I did that, like when you can connect back to, and this took a lot of practice to do it quickly, to connect back to myself, my spirit, my higher self, to get back to embodiment of like who I am and my power, because it always resides in us, right? But yeah, sometimes we disconnect from that. And I just had to take the time to connect back. And a lot of times, especially with high achieving women, and I'm working with a lot of women right now who are even like, the message coming through is like, you need to actually rest and do nothing. And they're like, absolutely not. Like, no, that makes them feel uncomfortable and horrified. And I'm like, but really, it's the medicine where all the magic happens. But you can't just say that to somebody and they're going to be like, okay, because I was that person, right? So it just takes like, I don't know. I don't know if it's practice. What is it? Because I still get there and I need to like recenter and come back. And so I am feeling, I think, extra self-expressed and extra authentic today on a Monday because I went through a shitty fucking weekend.
I actually think that's so powerful. And I am so glad that you shared that. I think so many women miss the part that like that is also authentic self.
Yes.
I don't care how high achieving or successful or functional or happy you are, you need to be able to express and experience. And here's the thing that you shared. You went through the experience of, I call it like the bottom of the barrel of like, you have to like let yourself experience those emotions. And when you hit the bottom of the barrel, you will find parts of yourself that are actually very fiery, very spicy. Like you want to talk about motivation. Sometimes it's not in the like pushing through or like that performance self. It comes from letting yourself get really, really low into those emotions that we often like think of as negative, but actually are very, very powerful. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some of my biggest turning points personally, professionally, they came after a moment or a season where I was willing to get really low, willing
Mm-hmm.
to like let myself truly tell the truth about like, here's what I'm experiencing, here's what I'm feeling. not when I'm luteal. Side note, luteal's different. Luteal's like, okay, no, we're not getting in bed. We're doing the things. Little troll bridge Becca in my head needs to go chill the fuck out. I'm not allowed to make decisions about my business or myself or my marriage when I'm luteal. But if it's not luteal,
I am in luteal right now, which is very shocking.
but I do. Okay, here's the other thing about luteal. I work with mostly high functioners, and I will say I hate luteal, but I do think that sometimes for high functioners, luteal is a gift because you no longer have the capacity to override what you've been ignoring. Like the things that you've
Mhm.
been playing down, the things
Yep.
that you've been like silver lining and like, oh, I've got this. And you're like, so we're so good at like, oh, this is just pressure and it's fine. It's making me better. And then luteal like comes and like kicks your feet out and is like, sit down, cry a little,
Yes.
complain a little. Don't be
Yes.
grateful. Don't be good. Actually, talk about the things that feel like shit right now. Be
Mhm.
insecure, be whiny, be vulnerable. For women who like don't give themselves permission to be that ever, I think
Mhm.
sometimes luteal can be this like unwanted gift.
Yeah,
Medicine
totally.
that tastes bitter for high
Yeah.
functioners.
I do want to say this because it's easy now to be on the other side and to say like I just felt my feelings and then it was shitty and then I was great. Let me just say that when I was in it and I was in bed and I was ugly crying and I was really feeling like shit, I'm so disconnected at that point that I am not thinking, oh, this is great because once I'm here, I'm going to be on the other side and it's going to be amazing. No, when you're in it and you're not thinking anything positive in there. You're like, this fucking sucks and I can't, like, I want to just burn everything to the ground and I want to cancel everything and I want to just, like, yeah, wither away and like, I'm not doing anything anymore. That's literally what was happening. And so I just love being on the other side to talk about that. That's really what was happening. And to remind myself, I use these moments to like, when I'm back there, you think that you're going to remind yourself that
Yeah.
this is great. This is great. It's going to be good on the other side. No,
Yeah.
there's none of that happening. So I just know that just ride the roller coaster. And yeah,
And
it's,
for me, I have a rule for myself when I'm in those moments, and it's when I can start feeling that I don't see myself coming out the other side, or when I start having the shame that comes in of like, oh, this is so cringy and embarrassing. I hope nobody knows. I'm like, no one needs to know that. If I have that, I have a rule for myself that I must call or text. I have like a list of my like best friends who I know won't try to make me feel better. They won't try to get me out of it, but they will kind of be these eyes on me of like, I love you, I got you, you're not alone. And also my people who like, I know that if I like, because I think I have a fear sometimes that I'll stay there because I have had seasons of my life where like I just always lived there. And so when those parts of me come up, there's a little bit of fear of like, oh shit,
yeah.
I'm backsliding. Oh shit, I've lost all progress. And I have to just remind myself like it's just momentary, but that piece of community for me, it's so hard. Every time it feels so vulnerable, it feels so cringy, it feels so stupid. But just in that act of telling them, it changes something when I'm in it. Because all of a sudden, it's not just like me alone flailing. I remember that like it gives me this tether of something outside myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that rule has been so, so powerful for me that like then when I'm coming out of it and I need to process, or maybe there is something that needs to come out of it, I have people who can see me in a way that in that moment I don't see myself correctly. Like I
Yes.
sometimes can lose perspective.
Totally. I love that. And I'm the same way. I love like who can I call to like vent or like basically just word vomit
Ah,
everything. And I'm so glad that I have people in my life to hold space for me in that way.
yeah.
And it's funny because this weekend I actually did think about that. I was like, who do I call? I need to call somebody. But this time I did something different, which I didn't call anybody. I had my husband, so I feel like that was my one let release of just
Yeah.
spew on him. And then, but I journaled so much this weekend.
You had you.
Oh my God. I journaled so, like, basically, I had to start a new book. I journaled the shit out of stuff. And
Yeah.
that also is a way of releasing and getting it out there and allowing your subconscious thoughts to come through. And that's where I had a breakthrough of something in my journal. I've been journaling since I was in grade 7. I have them all. I love journaling, but I even lose sight of like there will be months where I don't journal.
Yeah.
But when I get back to it, it's like, oh, I just forget sometimes how therapeutic it is.
It's such a powerful practice because it brings awareness to the things we're not really paying attention to, especially those of us who are so good at being productive and producing and like doing things.
Yeah.
Like we forget to like slow it down and think about like, what is it that I'm doing? Do I even like it? Is it working? Like, is it producing the thing that I want to produce? Because especially once you become successful, it's so easy to just keep doing that when you're like, oh, wait, emotionally, spiritually, not working for me anymore. Oh, schedule wise, not working for anymore. But you were like, oh, I just got like in this habit of doing these things. And that's why it's so important to like slow it down sometimes, have those reflection times, have those moments of, again, authentic self, but it's somewhat that like cringy self that like it's not very pretty. It's not productive. And for a lot of us, it's inconvenient and it's uncomfortable, but it's also so powerful and important in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to just say too, like, I hear what you're saying about those cringy parts of us
Yeah.
because and that's where the shame comes through of
Yeah.
like, oh, if I'm behaving this way, if I'm ugly crying, and if I'm like down in my bed and not being productive, then that's cringy. But is that cringy, or if that's what we were conditioned to believe was, right? And so that's the other part of authenticity is, yeah, parts of us are quote unquote cringy,
To
but are they
someone.
really?
Yeah.
But yeah, to somebody, but
Who
are,
cringes? Who cringes when
yes,
I'm doing that? Not the people who love me,
right.
not them, not me.
Yeah,
When I see another woman doing that, I don't cringe.
right.
I think, oh,
Well,
I love her even more. I know her even more.
right. And can we then love ourselves
Yeah.
when we are in those moments to say, like, this is a beautiful thing that you're doing? Like, listen, I get it. Like, this is what I'm still learning is that in the moment, I'm not doing that to myself. I'm not talking to myself in that way. But yeah, I think it's just, there's a higher part of me that's just like, okay, we're just gonna like get quiet and see what's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this conversation. I'm curious for you, what like feels like the next iteration of community and authenticity for you?
Hmm. Well, it's funny because sometimes when we build something with the intention of why we did it, and then we start to lose sight of that because everything's evolving and changing and growing and it's getting busier and bigger and all these things. I'm actually going back to the roots of why I created Illume. And so it happened just last week. You know, Jessa Lynn,
Yeah.
she did an Akashic reading for one of our Illume events because everything has energy. And so what the Akashic records are is just, it's an energetic field where everyone's soul contracts, energy of everything lives there, and she accesses it energetically. And so everyone was there. She wanted to read everybody's energy for their business and give them messages that they needed to hear. If you've never been in one of her circles, she is tapped in. She knew things about everybody that everybody was like, holy shit, how did you know that? It was nuts. But what had happened there was she put everybody in like a semicircle, and she even said to me, like, whoever, because I was like, I'm going to sit here because I feel called to sit here. And nobody was even in their spots yet. And she goes, I already know whoever's sitting in these two spots, like something big is happening between them. And I was like, oh, crazy, like cool. Anyway, so everybody sat down and she was going around, and then she pointed to the two people that were sitting in that space where she knew, and she goes, something's happening to the two of you. Do you guys know each other? And they're like, yes. And they're like, are you guys working on something together? And they're like, well, yeah. And they're like, she goes, and it's like big, like something major is happening between you two. And then she's like, and I'm getting really hot. And then they were like sweating, and one of the girls had to take off her shirt. She's like, I'm getting really hot too. And then they're like, okay, but they still weren't sharing what they were working on. And we were like, well, what are you guys working on? And one was a photographer and one was like in like her business, and they had a photo shoot together. But they did like a boudoir shoot together. It wasn't part of the business. And that's what was hot and heavy.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was for them to work on something together, that shoot brought out something creativity in each of them, where the photographer was saying, I've been stuck creatively. Why can I say creatively? Creatively. Wow. See, okay. And
My
this is
brain
my
does
brain.
this too. It's fine.
My God. No, my brain, that's a whole other thing that I need to talk. My brain fog. Anyway,
Yeah.
she's like, I haven't been creative for a while. I've been having to tend to chat GPT for creative ideas. And I was almost feeling guilty about it because I'm like, oh my God, I'm just not coming up with things and I have to go to chat GPT for this. And then she goes, but something happened in their shoot together where she didn't have to go to ChatGPT. Something just downloaded and she had all these creative ideas for this shoot. And the other girl, like following these, like something came through for her. Anyway, so Justin knew that about them. They were saying like this collaboration was what they needed. And that reminded me of why I created Illume in the first place. Because when I first created Illume from the very first brunch that we did, I said the intention was the people that come into this room are meant to meet the people that they're meant to connect with, the messages that they need to hear. I've always set that intention. And every time we have an event, somebody says, oh my God, I was sitting next to this person at brunch and she just shared the story with me that I definitely needed to hear to move on. And like, I love that and so much. And so I am a connector by my human design. I am the connector, but my archetype is the connector. I am meant to create the space where you are meant, something's in there for you.
Yeah.
And like you said, like I felt called to be in that room to not know anyone because you knew something's there for me.
Yeah.
And you met Shauna in the bathroom. Like you met so many people like that
Seriously.
Breastfeeding in the bathroom.
She was pumping and I was like, hey, can I hang out with you while you pump? And we had barely met. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes. Which some people would be so awkward. But like, I just remember that season of like, you miss out on so many things. And I was like, hey, you're obviously an extroverted gal. Like, let's hang out while you pump. And she's become like someone I deeply adore and love.
I know. Isn't that so amazing?
It's so cool.
And this is what I love. And so what reminded me about the space that I create, because I've tried to like incorporate my mission, which is my mission in life is to bring people back home to their authentic self.
I love that.
And whatever that may be. And so that's a lot of deeper work. And so I started incorporating inner work into Illume things, which is great. I still love to do that. And I started to incorporate a lot of like my mentorship and coaching to do that. But I found that like that part people weren't gravitating towards. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm trying to force something, like fit a piece of the puzzle that's not fitting. And I realized at that moment, at the Akashic thing, that like, no, my job with Illume, because I've always like, sometimes we attach ourselves to our business, which I tend to do that. I did that in my previous career. Like, it's like, we're one and me and my business are one. And it's like, stop doing that. Like, my business is its business and I am me.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to merge the two and the identities of both, where, okay, Illume is a space and a community where it's still the same intention. It's a space where people are going to be connected with the people that they're meant to be connected with for connection. And for whatever that happens with them is for them. And Illume can do that on its own in terms of like the business. I am no longer going to be the operator of Illume. I now know that I need a manager to manage Illume. I still love it and I will be going to the events and I will be doing all the things, but like in terms of the face of Illume, like that's not me. Illume, it's its own thing. And what I want, my mission is separate. I mean, and so the things I'm really great at creating spaces. I'm going to be bringing brunches back and dinners and curated experiences and retreats because that's what I'm good at for people to connect in. And I want to focus on that. So I'm still going to be building community. And then and then I have this other whole thing about like, you know, that I've taken, like I was in a whole year-long program for a relationship coaching. I've done my life coaching, but the self-mastery was part of the relationship. But it's really myself as me, my identity is I'm meant to be a connector to yourself, helping you connect to yourself first and foremost.
Yeah.
That's the inner work. Connecting to others, which is community, and connecting to spirit, connecting to guides, connecting. I am a bridge. And I shared this. It's funny because on a podcast I had shared on my own podcast, like I was knowing things. So I went to like a psychic development course or whatever. And I just realized that I knew more things. And then she got me to go into a mediumship program. And I was like, I don't want to talk to dead people. But then she's like, just to see your gifts. And then I went into that and then I knew things. Like I just was like, it was shocking to me. And I didn't know what to do with it because I'm like, okay, well, I have this gift, but I don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I know what to do with it now. And now that I'm ready and I know what to do with it, the gifts have gotten stronger, like way strong,
Yeah.
almost overwhelmingly strong.
Yeah.
And so I'm now going to focus on my gift of connecting people and curating events and separate, like what that means for helping other people connect to themselves.
Yeah.
To the other side. And so that's kind of like where the evolution of Kristine and Illume are going. So with that being said, I still love community, but I'm shifting even the way I'm doing the mastermind with community building.
I love that. And I'm sitting here, I feel like I have so many different because like one I love the way that your whole face lit up and your whole body demeanor changed when you said that like Illume is a separate thing than me. And like, what a beautiful thing. Because I think so many women can kind of develop a little bit of a codependent relationship with their businesses where like it can kind of take over who you are as a person. And I love that you're defining it as a role and a job that you fulfill, but also seeing that like there's this separate, connected in relationship,
Yeah.
but there's a separate entity that you want to be more separate. It sounds like in a beautiful, powerful way that not only benefits you, but also Illume. Like I
Yeah.
can see and hear for you. Like I can even like feel the energetic momentum of like how powerful this will be in community, you with Illume, but also separate.
Yeah,
And they're
I
all
know. And it
living.
feels, yes. And it feels so good because sometimes we don't want to like, and I've had these feelings of like, okay, how can I like do this, but also be part of a, and it's like, it's, you have this fear of letting go, but it's not letting go. I'm not letting go of like Illume. I'm not going to cancel it. I'm not going to, but it can still do its thing the way it's meant to, separate from my identity. So, yeah, it's such a good feeling to come to that clarity. And I'm so appreciative of you. And thank you for seeing that and witnessing that in me, because that is a gift that you have also when you can hold space for others and you can see that in others. Because when you can see somebody's light that easily, and I love seeing that in other people too. And so part of connecting people back to themselves and even talking to people in Illume or anybody that I work with is they will, do you know how often, I'm sure you get this a lot with the people that you work with, they will talk about like maybe what they do. And then it's kind of like, yeah, I do this. And then their energy is kind of like this and they're talking about it. And then they start talking about this other thing that they're not doing, but that like really lights them up. And then you see, like you physically see a light in them. And then they start talking about this other thing that's like lighting them up. And I'm always like, excuse me. I don't know if you saw this or noticed this, but when you're talking about your business, you were like, "Meh, meh, meh, meh." It's like a very low energy. I'm like, I wasn't feeling like lit up even listening to you talk about this, but you're doing it because you're good at it, or you're doing it because you've been doing it for so long, or you're just coasting along, right? Versus the thing that you really want to self-express and the thing that you really want to put out into this world. And listen, I'm not saying this from a place of like, I did this for so long, like for the last 3 years since I even took this, like learned my gifts, like I was doing that. And the fact that I can feel it in me, I'm like, what took me so long? But really, sometimes it's like divine timing. I wasn't ready to do it at that time. Like we have to go through this like birth canal season.
For sure.
My birth canal season is a long time. Okay. I
Oh,
was in that canal
oh, for
for a
sure.
long time.
One of, it's so crazy. I don't remember a ton of Bible study moment, but there was this one Bible study I was in when my daughter was little and we were doing a Beth Moore study, and she was talking about how, and you don't have to be a religious or a Bible person. They were talking about how like David was anointed as king, and then it was years, and he went through all of this crazy shit before he actually became king, and everything was tested before that happened. And I remember sitting there that day being like, there's something I'm supposed to do, and I'm not ready yet. It's not here yet, but I was like, I just have to keep trusting that there's some sort of like anointing or thing that I'm supposed to do, but it's not here yet. And I think
Yeah.
for a lot of people, one thing you said, I think those who can see the light in others, it's because you've been able to finally see it in yourself.
Mhm.
That's when it becomes so obvious to you and other people. And I think what's beautiful is it's almost it like it catches.
Mhm.
It's contagious in the best sort of way. And I think that is why community is so powerful. And also the other work that you're doing, the deeper work of the community is only life-giving if there's some sparks there. And the sparks only come not just from being around other people, but from finding it within yourself in your own life and how you do things, how you don't do things, how it changes. And
Mhm.
what a beautiful evolution. I was talking, one of my best friends and I were talking, and we were both kind of talking about these little stuck places. And I looked at her and I was like, did you know that we're babies? Like we're just like mid 30s. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I know
Yeah.
women in their mid 50s just now figuring out their careers. I was like, we have so much time. And I
Totally.
think so many of us, I work with women of a lot of ages. Most women that I work with are older than me, but it's like this reminder of like, you have so much time. You're going to
Mhm.
have so many different seasons and eras of your life. You know, I work with a lot of women with young babies, really intensive motherhood, and it's like, you're going to have more eras and seasons. So
Yeah.
like, just keep chasing and trusting, and also sometimes slowing down to
Mhm.
figure out like what lights you up right here.
Yeah. And if I could like add on to what you just
Yeah.
said from a 49-year-old perspective,
Yes, please.
because I talk to, like, look, I'm just turned 49 last month. It's hard to believe that I'm going to be 50 soon. Like, because I feel I identify with like a mid 30 person. In terms of like,
I
I feel like I have so much,
self-identify. Yes.
I feel like I have so much life ahead of me still.
You do.
But I talk to many women, even in their 30s, who say, I'm too late. It's too, I don't have enough. We think that's the conditioning of thinking that we have to have this whole thing figured out by the time we're a certain age. And if we're not, we're too late and we're too old. And that starts to, but and I am living proof of the constant evolution, even into my now 49th year. And I am now fully coming out into like these crazy things that I never, from coming from a finance business world, okay, to now I'm going to be talking to spirits on the other side. Like, hello, if that is not like a complete turnaround in terms of my career and my life and everything that I even knew what was real, and it's just starting for me.
It's just starting.
Yes.
I love that so much. I met a gal a few nights ago at a business networking Women of NoCo in, no, what is it? NoCo Women in Business, their event. And there's this girl in her early 20s. And she was like, everyone my age has it figured out. They're on these careers. And I wanted to, like, we didn't know each other, but I wanted to, like, grab her face and be like, I didn't even know my job existed at your age.
Yeah. Oh God, you don't even
It
want to
didn't
know
even
what else
exist.
you
And I
told
was
me.
just like, and I, not in a demeaning way, you're a baby, but like in a encouraging, like, you have so much time. And even if this, and she was like, and it's going to take me too long. And I was like, you have so much time. Just do it. Just start. But it's like, what a beautiful reminder to
Mhm.
all of
Yeah.
us of like, you'll figure it out. There's going to be some roller coaster moments. There's going to be some Saturdays where you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Crying,
Yeah.
crying
Yeah.
in your room. Those moments come. They always come. And I think people think once you're successful or good or healthy
Oh yeah, they don't come
field,
anymore.
they don't come anymore. I'm like, no, 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 no. Sometimes they come and sometimes they're bigger fuck ups. They're more expensive ones. There's higher
Yes,
stakes now. And actually, like, it's
exactly.
scarier because now it's more public. Now people know. Now you don't have the quote unquote excuse of being a beginner, but like, guess what? That's a part of it. That's just a
Mm,
part of living and doing things that light you up.
yeah, I know.
Oh, anything, do you feel like there's anything else you would add or share that like maybe we missed in this conversation?
No, that feels really good. I think that feels really, real. I love, thank you for this conversation and allowing me to just share what's been on my heart for so long. Because, yeah, I haven't been on my podcast self-expressing for since June. We are in the end of October now because I am in this transition
Transition.
phase of repurposing and rebranding my podcast. And so it's going to be completely different in terms of what and I kind of shared a little bit about that here. So yeah, a lot of things are shifting. And so can I segue into, unless you have more about like the
Oh,
community
please do.
builders thing? So right now I'm in the middle of enrolling people into what's called the Thriving Community Builders Mastermind, where I have a cohort where I am helping community builders who want to incorporate community, which is essential in my opinion, into your business, whether that's memberships, retreats, in-person events, or anything like that. Because and as of like, I think I ran this, I don't even, last summer, just this past summer, I ran the first cohort and it's already shifted. I'm going into the second one. And I really thought when I had created this in the summer that this is my thing. I'm going to teach this and it's lighting me up and it still does light me up.
Yeah.
But after, sometimes you don't know until you do the thing.
It's true.
And so I did the beta round first and I'm felt called because of the outcome and the everything that happened in the first one. I just loved it. I want to do it again the second round. But what I'm finding is that with all this new stuff that I just shared on this podcast, with all the evolution of what's happening with Illum and myself, my gift is more so in curating the events and of course, because that's my gift, like I can teach it, right? But I'm not as lit up when I teach it as opposed to actually just doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the last time I'm doing the mastermind live. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not lit up when I teach it in this thing, because what it lights me up in this is that I want the ripple effect of more community, more diverse communities out there. And so the more people I can take in to like, hey, do your community and let me help you build it. I love that part. And then, but for me to focus on the next era of curating these more intimate experiences and doing what I'm doing for my personal brand, I can't do it all. And so teaching is just one of the things we all think we can do it all. And I got to take things off the shelf. Mm-hmm. And so this is going to be the last time I'm going to be doing it live. So for those who have said like, oh, I really want to build community and I know you're the person that I want you to guide me to build this community, just it's not the right time. It's never the right time, right? I hear that all the time. It's not the right time.
Never the right time.
And I get it. We're all doing things. But if it really is the thing that you want to do and you want to do it with me, this is your only time. Because this is the last round that I'm doing live. It might come out, I might release the recordings because now I have 2 sets of recordings. So might release the recordings out for people. But I do believe that courses are great, but integration is more important for taking in information. And that's why I love Mastermind so much, because it's like, yes, I can give you all the information, the framework, everything to build community from the ground up and what that takes strategically, energetically, all the things. But it's like, can we be in a container where we're going to integrate it and take action? Mm-hmm. And because that's why I don't even like putting out courses, because I'm like, to me, I'm like, but are you going to do something with it? Like, I want you to like not have a course on a shelf. I want you to like do something with it. So that's where I'm at. I'm still very excited about it. We start the beginning of November if you're listening to this, whenever you're listening to this, and there's always time to like jump in near the beginning. But yeah, if you feel called to really build a thriving business in order to build, you know, create impact and create consistent revenue, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-month program. And I'm so excited to like kick off it's going to be magical. I always think like, oh, the people in this group, this last group of my last oomph, my last hurrah for this, it'll be great. And because I'm building something new for myself,
While you do it.
I'm going to be doing it with the cohort. And how exciting is that? Because the framework that I teach is not just for like people who don't know how to do it. It's for people like me who also know how to do it, but like to do it in energy with other people.
In
And like,
community.
hey, yeah, and in community, to do it in like, because I'm not, because I've done this, I'm going to use my own framework, but I'm going to do it with this cohort, which is going to be so exciting.
I love it.
So I'm really excited.
That's amazing. I had to laugh when you were saying about the courses because I think it was during our mastermind that I was building my course.
Oh yeah.
And I realized I was like, I can do this. I think I'm a pretty good teacher.
Yeah.
And that's truly not where my magic is. It's not. And also for the person receiving it, I know that they're not receiving like the exact kind of medicine I want to build. Mine is relational. For me,
Yes.
I'm so relational. That's what lights me up. And it's like, I realized that like once that course was out in the world, there would be like really very little relationship with me, with the people
Yes, which is
using it.
not
And I
how
was just
you.
like, no, I don't like this. I don't want someone to pay their precious money to have it sit and like not be used or like
Yes.
understand it cognitively, but not have like someone to talk about it with and move through it with. But
Yes, I know.
yeah,
And so I'm curious, what's your human design?
I'm a manifesting generator.
But what's your profile numbers? Do you know?
Two,
Oh,
four.
2-4.
Remember, I like kind of know, but then like I kind of don't know.
That's okay. Okay. So 2-4. Yeah. And I think, and there are certain ones where it's like, yeah, they're meant to teach, which is like the
Yeah.
1 line and the 5 line. Like Anna, our friend Anna, who is in the, like, she is a teacher through and through of
For
like,
sure. Yeah.
I got skills to teach you
Yeah.
and I'm going to teach you. And like, though, that's where like we need to put ourselves in like things where like we are designed to do. And like, of course you can teach. You have a lot of knowledge. Of course I have knowledge and I have a lot to teach. But is that where we're really meant to
Yeah.
spend our time?
Is that where I'm most potent, most
Yes.
alive, most lit up? Am I lit up? Am I enjoying it? Yes. Is it the most highest form for me? No. And that's where I decided like I can do it. I don't want to and I don't have to anymore.
Mhm.
And that word potency has shown up so much for me this year because it's like, is that where all of me shows up? And it's like, not really, because that can't happen teaching because I'm such a
Yeah.
relational, responsive person. Anyway,
Yeah. And I do want to just reflect something to you, knowing your human design, knowing you and knowing what you do. And this is something we teach in the Community Builders Mastermind of like, are you building community that's aligned for you? Like a lot of times we don't even know subconsciously how we naturally attract people or our natural gifts are. And so we really dive through that. But just on the surface level of knowing that you're a 2-4 and knowing which is 2 is the one that's the invited guest, that you have gifts to offer the world through invitation from other communities in terms of you're a good space holder of sharing your gifts. Now, that's why you do retreats and like your potency comes from the work that you do and people getting to experience you. And when it comes to community, yes, you can build your own, but also even when you came in to do a workshop, a somatic workshop for Illume, I could see you lit up when you were, it's not teaching, you were guiding us through an experience in that, but you are meant to be invited into other communities to share your magic. So not just I want you to think about that, not just your retreats and your containers, but like where can you come into other communities? So just like you did for Illume, to share your magic. And I really see that for you, like growing. And I love that it's like, like I'm not going to do a course that's going to sit on a shelf. I'm meant to like be there and like give my gifts and have people experience my magic. And yeah, I'm just excited for you.
I'm having chills and it feels like my heart just had a hug. You know that feeling where you're like,
Oh,
oh, I think I think this is something that you're so powerful at, Kristine, is seeing people and speaking into them. And I think so many people are desperate to be seen and witnessed. And like even just like what you just reflected to me, I'm fairly self-aware. You just told me stuff that like as soon as you said it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense." But I didn't come up with that. And that's receiving. And I think so many women are never in a space where they get to receive, where they get to be held, where they get to be led, especially when you're a leader. And I think that's one of your profound gifts. And I love that like you accidentally just set yourself up for that, for me to be like, Kristine, you're such a phenomenal leader. And the way that you lead and hold and see people and are like calling out the light in them in such a potent, powerful way. Like you have such a beautiful way of doing that. And so I'm just so excited for this new iteration of Kristine and Illume and all of the things. I'm just so proud of you. And I'm grateful too of like, I love the things that you've built and the people I've been connected with it through it. So thank you for being a guest. I feel like this is such a full circle moment to like do a podcast with you. So
Totally. And it was meant to be. I know we've had to like
I
push
know. It was meant to be. The timing was perfect.
I do believe it was meant to be that I was to share this on this day where I am feeling like so authentic, so in my power, so in my energy, coming out of like a really dark weekend.
I know. Well, thank you so much for being a guest, Kristine, and we'll have all of her links below.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode of the Motherhood Mentor podcast. Make sure you have subscribed below so that you see all of the upcoming podcasts that are coming soon. I hope you take today's episode and you take one aha moment, one small tangible piece of work that you can bring into your life to get your hands a little dirty, to get your skin in the game. Don't forget to take up audacious space in your life. If this podcast moved you, if it inspired you, if it encouraged you, please do me a favor and leave a review. Send an episode to a friend. This helps the show gain more traction. It helps us to support more moms, more women. And that's what we're doing here. So I hope you have an awesome day. Take really good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.